Hi everyone, tonight we are having homemade pizza night. I've got one that's done and I'm going to show you Julie's secrets on how to build a perfect homemade pizza. So this one here is in the stoneware bar pan. It's a traditional jelly roll pan in size, about 11 by 14, 11 by 15, I'd have to double check, but it's a perfect one for making all sorts of things, cookies and bars. And I'm going to build this one on our traditional large pizza stone. Now these are well seasoned. This one here is. It's nice and dark. They're real pale and boring looking when you first get them. The first thing I do is I heat my stone in the oven to get it preheated. I used a really hot oven, 450 degrees, so my stone is hot, and I sprinkle a little bit of cornmeal on it. If you want to brush it with a little bit of oil first, you absolutely can, but it's not required to prevent sticking. I've got a homemade dough here that I just stretched by hand. I didn't use a roller on this. And I'm going to just lift it onto the stone. It's hot, so you need to work quickly. And I'm just gonna stretch it out a little further. Now this is gonna look like it's really thick. It's not. It's very thin. You can see almost through it. As it hits the stone, and because my stone is warm, it's starting to puff up right away. Okay, so let's build this pizza. For me, the secret's all in the layering. So this is more or less a New York style pizza. If you're from New York and you're watching this, please don't judge. It's the Julie version, okay? My husband's actually Italian from upstate New York, and he says this is about the closest we'll get to a New York style pizza that you can get at home. So I think that's a compliment. Okay, so to build the perfect homemade pizza, these handles are hot, so I'm just gonna turn it this way. You wanna start first with a little bit of a garlic oil layer. So I just take a bit of olive oil and I make a puddle right in the middle, about the size of a quarter. And then I like to add a fresh clove of garlic. So to me, fresh garlic and pizza go hand in hand, right? So just press that clove of garlic right in the middle of the oil, and we're gonna spread this all over the top. Now, if you've not used our garlic press before, you notice I did not peel the garlic. There's the skin right there. It presses straight through the skin. So you're gonna take this garlic oil, and you can either use a chef's basting brush or just a scraper, very lightly, because you don't want to move your dough. Just brush that garlic oil all over your crust, okay? If it's not perfectly spread out, just do the best you can, it'll be fine. Now, whatever cheese you're gonna use, your mozzarella, you're gonna put half of it on now. So a lot of times we grew up putting sauce on the dough first, and that makes it a little bit trickier to get a nice crispy crust. So do your sauce between layers of cheese, and you're gonna have really great results. And do you see how coarse this is? I grated it with our double grater, so the holes are really big. It makes a nice grate, but you can use our adjustable coarse grater if you want. I do not recommend that you ever use pre-grated cheese on a homemade pizza, because the cheese that you buy that's pre-grated is coated in cellulose and it doesn't melt quite as well. So if you're after creating a really nice restaurant style, pizzeria style pizza at home, that's one of the things you'll want to do, is definitely grate your own cheese. And then go light on the sauce, okay? You see I have just a little bit here. Just gonna take the back of the spoon. The sauce should be light because, again, we want to make sure we have a nice crispy crust, and we're gonna have some moisture from the vegetables that we're gonna use. Maybe you don't put vegetables on your pizza. I don't know. we do like them here. So we'll do the rest of our cheese. So how much cheese does it take? I would say for a large pizza like this, I probably end up using about 10 to 12 ounces, but you can adjust that based on your own taste. I don't like it so cheesy that you can't taste everything else. Okay, that looks good. And then I've got some Parmesan that's grated. I do this one in my blender. I love adding a blend of cheeses to have especially nice flavor. And then I like to do the meat next. So I've got some pepperoni here. I suppose the layering on your vegetables and meats is completely up to you. You know, you can decide. I had some stick pepperoni that I sliced because I was out of my pre-sliced, and it's totally fine. Definitely has lots of flavor. I sampled a couple. Okay, and we'll go vegetables next. So I sliced my, I had a little bit of red onion in the fridge, so I sliced it with the Rapid Prep. I actually took my onion, I cut it into quarters and fed it through the Rapid Prep on the French fry cut, and it gave me this nice little dice. So I'm gonna do the onion next. I just wanted to use that up. Sometimes we just do pepperoni mushroom. And then I've got 2 mushrooms here. I had these on the slice setting on the Rapid Prep on about the 2 thickness. I do love to use fresh mushrooms that are sliced really thin on pizza. Do not use canned mushrooms on pizza. I think that's so awful. I'm not a fan. Maybe you are, but I think fresh is the only way to go with mushrooms in general. I guess I just don't like canned mushrooms ever. How about you? Am I getting some cheers on that? Stay away from those canned mushrooms. Okay, now I'm gonna take it over the top. We've got garlic on the bottom. We're gonna add a little bit more. I love coarsely chopped garlic on top of a pizza. It almost roasts in the oven and it's fantastic. So I'll usually put about 3 to 4 cloves on top of the pizza, and it doesn't overpower at all. So just take your little sleeve here that comes with your garlic prep tool. We're gonna peel it, just roll it. You'll feel it kind of crunch out. And there we go, here goes the peel. And then for your garlic prep tool, you just set it on there. If you want this to be more fine, you can just smash it a little bit with a knife before you stick it on here. But basically, you just go like this. You just put it on there and lean forward. And then down here, I know I just fed 1 in there. I already had some in there. So this is more than a clove in my little drawer here. But see how coarse that is? So it smells really yummy. So you can see it's pretty chunky. And just go ahead and spread it all over the top. It's absolutely delicious. Before we had this, I would do it in the food chopper, but this is just so much easier. Okay, now to finish it off, I used some of our Pampered Chef Italian seasoning. This stuff is so good. And I'll do about half a capful or so. Okay, so go ahead and give it a good sprinkle. I'm gonna dump it in my hand, it'll be easier. Actually, I probably don't need quite that much. We'll put that back in the bottle. That would have been a little too much. So a good sprinkling is what you need. All right, this is gonna go into a hot oven, 450 degrees for about 16 minutes. Now, here's the next tip for you. Put it on the bottom rack. I'm checking to see that I used all my ingredients, and I did. Put it on the bottom rack of your oven. That's the hottest part of your oven. You'll get a perfect crust. And then I'll show you the crust on this one that's done already, okay? So when you bake on the lower part of your oven, your stone has time to really cook your crust so that it releases beautifully. You can see this one here. It's so nice. It's nicely browned. It's even on the bottom. There's nothing that's stuck. And you can use metal on your stones. So do you cut your pizza with a pizza cutter or do you use scissors on yours? I kind of do both. It depends on the pizza. But with our pizza and crust cutter, you've got a nice big wheel. And then the crust cutter, I'll show you how that works. So you can just roll it right on your stone. And then when you get to the edge, especially with a piece with a side like this, you just rotate your pizza cutter and you can get the corners that you can't get otherwise, okay? So that's how I cut my pizza, with the pizza cutter right on the stone. I hope you'll give this a try. Just remember, these are the basic tips. Layer your sauce between the cheeses, grate your cheese fresh, and then try a sprinkle of garlic on top. You will be amazed at how the flavor is so incredible. I'll post links in the comments for the products that I used. So the 2 stones that I featured tonight are part of the stoneware starter set. So you save a little bit, you get the 2 stones that I used and a loaf pan as a whole package, or you can choose them individually. But anyway, so I'll post all those links in the comments. I hope you'll give this a try. This is a family favorite for us, and I hope it will be for you too. Have a good night.